Welcome to Crossing Darkness, a podcast about role-playing games ranging from the World of Darkness tabletop setting to MMORPGs like EVE Online and everything in between. We broadcast live over Twitch and are open to answering questions during the show. I'm your host, Frozen Fallout. My co-host is Motor Rory, who helped me create this podcast, as well as a 40-person, 4-table Gen Con event.
Hi, everybody, and today we're going to go over some of the games that you can play at Tryitcon. So to start it off, Josh, what is Tryitcon?
So Tryitcon is something that's a new online convention that's going to be May 14th starting on Friday, May 14th, and is ending on Sunday, May 16th. And the concept about it is try out games that you've never played before. So the focus of these games are quite a bit of these are like World of Darkness type kind of games. There's also games like Star Trek Adventures, Star Wars, FFG, and just tons of other kind of different games that you normally wouldn't see featured at different conventions.
Yeah, so it's being run by Terry Robinson and a few other people from the podcasting community, and I think I've listened to a bunch of interviews with him on various podcasts, including ours, and on his podcast, the Mage the Podcast. And one of the things that he's brought up on a bunch of those podcasts is they don't have any D&D. Most of the time when you go to conventions, it's just a lot of D&D Adventure League, which is good. You know, D&D is a great game. I play in 2 D&D games myself. But I'm really enjoying that he's making the effort to make a convention online here at the tail end of pandemic to get people into other games, because I'm sure a lot of people started playing online during this, and yeah.
I'm
anyway,
really excited to see. I like the concept that they left it open for people to suggest other games, and I guess if I remember correctly, there wasn't really if there was a very low amount, but I believe there might have been no suggestions for D&D as being the one that they wanted to try, because you can try D&D almost anywhere.
Hopefully.
I mean,
I think we're at that point.
I mean, to a certain, especially online, is one of the things that I think. There's a lot of D&D communities out there right now that are all very active. And Pathfinder is also another community that is extremely, active in the gaming stores. Not as much anymore, but still online. I think D&D and Pathfinder both have an insane presence currently.
Yeah, I think what we're probably mostly talking about in that context is the popular actual plays, the streamed games of people playing D&D. And I know I've brought it up, 1,000 times, but Critical Role is by far the most popular one out there. So that's where most people have been exposed to online gaming.
Well, I think what I'm talking about though is more along the lines of like you can get into D&D games right now online, pretty easily. Like if you want to join up there's multiple communities out there online, and especially local communities. I know that's less now with the pandemic, but it's really easy to get into the Adventure League or whatever, any of the different games that are being played at all different times for they have living campaigns and everything that makes them very easy and accessible to get into, and doesn't need a Tryitcon, I would say, is not really needed for Dungeons and Dragons in the sense of there's games you can play out there.
Although I haven't really looked into it, I don't know how hard it would be to find an online game of D&D. But yeah, I bet it would be. It's certainly a lot easier than trying to find an online game of pretty much anything from what's being run at Tryitcon. So we were going to go through and read some descriptions of some of the games that are available.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Uh, so so you just told me a few minutes ago that that your mage game is sold out. Is that correct?
Yeah, yep. So our mage game is sold out. We have two of our five tickets sold for Demon the Fallen as well. So looking really good there. Really excited to get those games off the ground and start playing them again. As I'm kind of redoing some of the stuff that we've already done in year two of Gen Con and kind of doing a complete remake on that, using a lot of what happened canonly in our game, and then kind of changing what the future would have been like, or the base concept of some of the things that are going to be happening moving forward. So year two, the way things that happened in year two are not going to be at all the same. What we ran at Gen Con comparatively to what I'm going to be doing here is going to be a very different game,
Yeah.
but based on the same history.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're just going to go through and read some descriptions of these games and say whether or not there are tickets available, I guess, because I'm just looking at this first one that we talked about, Star Trek Adventures, A New Horizon, Greener Pastures. And I'm seeing that 0 tickets are available.
Yeah, I'm going to be one of the first people to notify me if a ticket becomes available, even though I can't play. But I kind of I've got maybe some friends that might be interested in that. So there is a little notify button. So even if it is um, sold out, you can still get notified. And I really like what tabletop events does. We were talking about this before the podcast started here, but tabletop events is what they're using for Tryitcon, and I feel like it's a really great system for getting tickets to events.
Uh, yeah. So if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it is a website called tabletop.events. There's no .com or anything. It's just tabletop.events. And I think the first time that we were exposed to it was at Midwinter Convention in Milwaukee
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago now. I think it was that 2017, maybe 2018. Um, but yeah, it's a really smooth website, and if you're running any kind of thing with any kind of time slots that people can sign up for, I believe it's free to use, isn't it?
I
I'm
believe it's
not.
free to use. I'm not sure 100% on the um,
I
on
think.
that exactly, but I know that it's easy to sign up, and it's I know that if I, for me as a GM, as long as somebody set up an event, I can get into all the stuff free without any problems, of course. But yeah, to set up an event, or to do a convention or an event on tabletop events, I'm not sure if it's free or not.
Yeah, there is a payment system that is integrated, so I'm betting they take a little bit of that money.
Yeah, I mean, sure they make
Although,
money more or somewhere.
yeah, although I think when we went to Midwinter, they had specifically made all of their events free. And so I remember when we were there, we were like switching out events constantly because they were free. So it was very simple to cancel stuff.
Yep.
Um, but anyway, so let's go through and read some descriptions of games and speculate on whether or not we'd want to play in that. So just because I've got that one open, let's start with the Star Trek Adventures: A New Horizon, Greener Pastures. Uh, a Star Trek Adventures in the Kelvinverse timeline, taking place next generation style, 100 years after Captain Kirk and the Enterprise. The players will be the crew on the newly commissioned USS Horizon, as it has been tasked to help introduce a newly warp capable species on their first steps in the Federation. It's 4 hours long. I believe that is Friday at 8 p.m. And there are 0 tickets available. Although, like you said, you can sign up to be notified because, as this is an online convention, I wouldn't doubt that there are going to be some cancellations or some no shows. Uh, I'm not sure if Terry has talked about what's going to happen if some people don't show up, if there's going to be some sort of system to have people waiting around or anything.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at this Star Trek Adventures game. This is interesting. I didn't realize this even existed. I might have to purchase this game. This looks a little fun.
Oh, you mean like the actual game?
Yeah, I've
The
never.
game book?
Yeah, so they've got a core rule book. Looks like they've got some extra stuff that you can kind of get, like Game Master's bundle. We've got looks like a couple of books out for it, so they've got a couple different source books. This all looks really cool. I didn't realize that there was an up-to-date Star Trek role-playing game.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's one of the awesome parts of Tryitcon. There are a bunch of games in here that I didn't know even existed. I know Star Trek role playing has been around basically forever.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that's, I mean, that the overlap in those two communities is pretty much just a circle. So, uh, yeah, I can't say that I'm super interested in doing Star Trek role playing because I'm I'm not sure how it would work. I'm sure it's away missions and stuff, but I mean, there's a lot you could do with it.
Yeah, yeah. I think there'd be tons of opportunities. Independent. I'm interested to see what the gaming system looks like. That would be one though that unfortunately I'm not going to be able to go because I run my own game during that time. But that was one I saw and I was just like, dang, I really wish I could have gone to this one.
Yeah. All right. Which one do you want to look at next?
Let's go ahead and take a look at the one that I'm going to be going to, which is Changeling the Lost, second edition, Midnight Mall, Beautiful Madness. So, um, Changeling the Lost, if is not Changeling the Dreaming. So, Changeling the Lost is the new Chronicles of Darkness. And I've never played any of the Changeling Chronicles of Darkness. I played in and I've run a couple of games for Changeling the Dreaming. So I'm interested just to see what the mechanics are like, and just to see what the gaming experience is like for this setting.
Which event is that? What time is it at?
It's the very first one. It is at 2 p.m.
Uh,
Friday. Changeling the Lost.
okay. Oh, there we go. All right, let me read the description here. The moon is high and your time is now, but it's also closing time, and the mall has to shut its doors. What mystery awakens when the lights go out? Content warning, kidnapping themes, trauma processing, altered reality, themes of loss. This game is 18 plus.
Yeah, so it seems like quite an interesting kind of little opener for that. So it looks like this has one ticket available currently.
Yeah, and it's $2 per ticket, and it's a 4-hour game starting on Friday at 2 p.m., as you said.
Yep, and that's 2 p.m. Local to the convention, which is New
So
York
that's
time.
Eastern time, right?
Yep, Eastern New York American time.
New York American time.
Yes, just to make sure.
Yeah, I mean that's actually pretty interesting to me. Starting off the entire convention with an adult themed Changeling the Lost game.
So this
And
is
it's
another one that I
foreplay.
really, I think I'm in the, let me double check here, my events. Yes, I'm in the one that I think we should touch base on. I think we did one of our other episodes too, but I'm interested in this Adventure of the Hollow Earth. This has got a pretty good description here. Um, and this is at, so this is one that I'm not going to be at, but I'm going to be at the next one. For this, let's see here. This is at 4 p. or sorry. Uh, this is at 3 p.m. On Friday, Mage the Ascension Second Edition Adventure to Hollow Earth.
There we go. I got it. Oh, this is a long one. Roland Lamont, a recluse antiquarian with an affinity for high tea, has requested you to go on a mission for him. He's never steered you wrong before and always pays well. What could be so hard about fixing a broken weather machine in a tropical area? This high action, pulp inspired modern day adventure is suitable for beginners and advanced alike with pre made characters with a ret level 4. We will be using Mage of the Ascension 2nd Edition rule set with the homebrew rule of 10s exploding on all rolls except initiative, i.e., rolling a 10 even if you don't have a specialty listed. This adventure includes dinosaurs and Nazis as villains. Keywords Mage, 2nd Edition, Action Adventure, Punching Nazis, Hollow Earth, Beginner Friendly, and Fun. This game will only run if there are at least 2 participants. Bring a friend. So that is maximum tickets 4, duration 4 hours, starting at Friday at 3. Cost is $2, and there is 1 ticket available. That actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, that seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I believe I have that. My schedule. Yes, so I'm going to be doing that at 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. They have another one of those going, and that one currently has no tickets available. Not surprising.
Which one is that?
That would be the same exact game, but it's happening on Saturday at 2 p.m.
Okay, there we go. Yes, they are running it twice.
Yep.
And that one is sold out, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the first one will. I'm doing Changeling at the same exact time that this one is going to be. Well, Changeling starts a little earlier, but that worked out.
Which one do you want to look at next?
Let's see. Let's look at Promethean. That's I've always wanted to play Promethean.
Is that the Friday at 9 p.m.?
Yep, Friday 9. Friday 8 p.m. Promethean the Created, 2nd Edition.
Oh, yeah, 8 p.m.
The Spiral Staircase. It's got
Right.
1 ticket available at $2.
Let's see here. You wake up. Ash is falling like snow. One of your comrades has temporary amnesia. Their memories of the last couple of weeks are muddled, and she speaks of seeing strange symbols and figures just out of the corner of her eye. She swears everyone was followed into this area. Who is watching you?
Yeah, so this is where you make like Frankenstein monsters and golems. And you play these like it's a Chronicles of Darkness setting. Very interesting kind of concept. I haven't played it before, but I hear that you can make some really crazy monsters. That it kind of gives you like an open kind of ability to build some of your own kind of concepts that are similar to like Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Promethean at all, so yeah, that would definitely be an interesting one. All right. Which one should we look at next?
Let's go for one that has not sold some tickets to see. Let's see, like Star Wars FFG Rebel Scum. I'm going to take a look at what you give the description for that. This is at.
All right, yeah, I found the right one here.
Okay.
Set mere moments after the destruction of the Death Star 2, the galaxy is far from saved as the New Republic tries to seize control and the Empire tries to hold onto power with the players caught in the middle. Yeah, so that looks, let's see, maximum tickets 5, duration 4 hours. That one's actually starting at midnight, going
Looks like
till
12:30 actually, because it's interesting. The description or the name of it says 12:30 in the title itself. So I'm guessing it starts at actually 12:30. I'm wondering if there was.
Oh, I'm betting it's very possible that whoever's running it is either running or playing in a previous slot,
Ah.
giving themselves some. And yeah, that's 5 tickets available at $2 per ticket. Uh, yeah, I hope they sell out because that sounds pretty fun.
So I played a lot of different Star Wars role-playing games before. I'm taking a look here. I'm wondering. I'm trying to remember if we played Empire's Edge at all, or Edge of the Empires,
Age
um,
of Empires.
or Edge of the Empire. I'm
Isn't that
wondering.
what Coder ran?
I feel like that's what Coder ran. Yeah. I'm just looking through some of the stuff that I can kind of find it here, but it looks like the same core book that we had. And I think that that's the one that we used as well. That's a fun game. Star Wars has always been a lot of fun. A lot of the times whenever I GM Star Wars, I always find that my players, the first things that they do is figure out a way to steal a ship. Um,
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting because these are all essentially one shots. And if you don't listen to Mage the podcast, I would highly suggest it because in the last episode that just dropped in the past few days here, uh, Terry talks with Josh Heath about running one shots, which is essentially, what is happening here at this convention.
yeah, I haven't listened to that episode yet. I was gonna listen to that tonight, to try and prep myself for my own game that I'm gonna be doing. I saw that posted and I was like, ooh, that's one I have to sit down and do a good listen to.
Yeah, I'm only halfway through it. All right, so sticking with Friday, let's go and check out. I don't know what this is. It's called Blue Rose. Blue Rose, second edition, Poisoner's Lament.
Ooh.
The Queen of Aldis has long planned a banquet to honor her elite guard, the Sovereign's finest. The merriment quickly turned sour, however, when many guests suddenly fell ill, poisoned by one of Aldis's rivals. With every high-ranking member of the finest debilitated by the poison, it falls to a scrappy group of apprentices, squires, and neophytes to discover who poisoned the guards, uncover the antidote, and capture the assassins before they escape justice. They'll have to navigate diplomatic intrigue, engage in a carriage chase or two, and above all, make their mentors happy and earn their own place among the Sovereign's finest as true knights of Aldis. Pre-generated characters provided. This game is appropriate for ages 13 plus. LGBTQ plus friendly.
Oh, that sounds
That
awesome.
sounds, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I have never heard of Blue Rose.
Yeah, neither have I. Apparently, did get some upon its initial release. Blue Rose met with general approval and even some acclaim by the gaming hobby. Yeah, this looks like an interesting. It's like a fantasy setting, with a like a that is currently ruled by a queen who earned the throne when the Golden Heart, a being symbolizing rightful rulership, chose her over rival contenders. So it's an interesting kind of like.
Okay, yeah, it looks like originally published in 2005 by Green Ronin Publishing, which I've heard of before. I'm not super familiar with it. Uh, and in 2015, they kickstarted a new edition that was published in 2017. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Well, there are 4 tickets left for that. So if you're listening to this and you're interested, definitely go for that one. Although that is a $6 per ticket. I am sure it's worth it though.
Yeah, the way I see it, if it's, if it's more money, I expect a little bit more out of the game itself than, a little bit more prep work to have been done, and you know something more than just a general concept that somebody came up with.
Yeah, $6 is still not a lot, though.
That's not a lot of
It's
money either.
I
For
dropped
this
$6
convention,
on
it is.
stupid
It feels
shit.
like $6 is definitely some of the more premium kind of games that are going to be. There isn't. I haven't seen anything above $6, so I kind of feel bad at putting my game at $6. I feel like I should have probably put it down a little bit at 4, but I have put an insane amount of work into it. So
Yeah, I doubt many people will be unsatisfied with the games at this convention. I think Terry's been pretty dedicated to making sure everything's gonna go really well, uh, and I'm sure he's gonna learn a lot of things, and I'm sure we'll talk to him about it.
yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing all about how this all went and what kind of learning experiences he had. So let's move on to Saturday and take a look at some of the different games here that might be interesting. So the first one that always catches my eyes is because whenever somebody says spaceships, the first thing I go to is like, I want to check that out. So there's the spaceships and the stray worms. Never heard of this before. It's at 12 p.m. on Saturday. It's got 4 tickets
Okay.
left, $2 a ticket.
All right. Spaceships and Star Worms, the module conscription. The Galactic Coalition have put out a call to all able-bodied ships and crew to prevent an assault from the wicked Virux invaders attempting to invade the Naran system on the edge of frontier space. Your ship is close enough to respond, so you answer the call to arms. Your mission? Repel the Virux assault cruiser by boarding the ship and planting a bomb on the reactor. Steady your nerves, settle your resolve, and throttle up to attack speed. Okay, yeah, that sounds like some high action spaceship stuff.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It's a D20 based game on the foundations of 5th edition. That'd be fun. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the type of game that should be at a convention like this. I've never heard of it, and it sounds pretty cool. I like starship stuff.
Yeah, that seems like a game I would definitely go to if I hadn't already signed up to the Mage game.
Oh, I see. When you say fifth edition, it's 5e compatible. So if you play D&D 5th edition, it looks like it should be a pretty uh, similar system. I
Right.
think is
Yep.
the idea.
Yep. So yeah, it's very much like uh, it's completely different setting. It's a completely different concept, but it sounds like the rules are going to be very much the same. I'm betting that they probably switch out like wizards but give them, the same kind of concept, but probably with, tech or something like that. That I don't know for sure at all, but I wonder
By the
how
way,
they'd
can
be
you hear
able
me
to
all
manage it.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a little lag on my end, so
Yeah, I
just
can
wanted to
hear
make
you
sure.
fine. I do see your video every once in a while. You get into a nice
Mhm.
funny posture and
Yeah.
it grabs you
Uh,
at the right time.
anyway, let's stick with the beginning of Saturday. Let's check out some of these that I have no idea about. I'm just going to click on Wander Home here. Um, 4 tickets. All right. Wander Home is a pastoral fantasy role playing game about traveling animal folk, the world they inhabit, and the way the seasons change. It is a game filled with grassy fields, mossy shrines, herds of chubby bumblebees, opossums in sundresses, salamanders with suspenders, starry night skies, and the most beautiful sunsets you can imagine. During our session, we'll create characters, our first place, and explore that patch of the heath.
Oh, this is a
That's
$0
that's
game.
me. Also, 0 tickets available, and I
Yeah.
can see why. That's
And one person waiting for a ticket.
yeah. Congratulations, Chaz Kellner, the host of this. I assume the person that's running it. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'm not sure I've heard of that. Wander Home. I'm betting it's probably a very role play heavy. Probably not a lot of combat in that one.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be combat heavy at all.
I don't know why it stands out, but opossums in sundresses. That just sounds cool. All right, which one do you want to look at?
Let's take a look at how about Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition? This would be something I would be interested in as well if I wasn't already scheduled during that time period. But there are 4 tickets available out of the 5 currently, so this is definitely one I wish I could go to. Seems kind of interesting, and I want to see. I haven't played the new 5th edition yet. I've heard a lot about it, but I have not played it, and it seems like it would be a fun system to play in. I don't know. It feels like it would be very different than normal World of Darkness stuff, though. Or
Yeah, I know
past.
they've changed up the way the dice work, but that's all I really know about it. Let me go ahead and read the description here. For players already familiar with the rules of Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, you never expected to become a vampire. In fact, it was the last thing on your mind. But now you're here. In this introductory game, you will play a brand new kindred who is only a few months old. Prove your loyalty to the Camarilla, and they will keep you safe for decades to come. Mess up, and you will be no more. This game is run by the storyteller for Austin by Night. Interesting.
Oh, cool. So yeah, that's something you could go check out a lot of the material that the storyteller already has out there. It's kind of one of the things that one of the reasons why I built this podcast and why I wanted to do like actual plays and stuff like that is really wanted to have a place that people could go and be like, oh, this is the game that I'm going to be playing in, and kind of understand, at least an example of what they were going to be getting. Because you don't see that quite a lot with a lot of GMs. They're, you know, I feel like there's a lot of GMs out there that are not very boisterous about their work. They're just gonna come and play their game, and some of them are epic, and they have a lot of their stuff. Kind of like they've done lots and lots of work in order to build up their game. But they don't publish any of that information or show you any way of getting access to that information. Um, so it's always interesting when I see other actual players and stuff like that running games. I feel like that's going to be one you're gonna get some good quality, or at least you're going to be able to know what kind of quality you're going to be jumping into by just going over to their actual plays.
Yeah, it looks like Austin by Night they're on season 2. Their first season have is it 11? Looks like season 1 had 11 episodes, and they're on season 2. Episode 4 was their most recent one, published in March. And their first episode looks like they started in 2019. Cool. Yeah, I hope some of the listeners of that podcast get to play a game. That's an interesting thing that I hadn't thought of. Listening to a podcast, like it's almost like if you ran a Technogate adjacent game for the con.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and even then that's I want to do that. I'm gonna be doing that at some point too. Um, I didn't have it prepped for this convention specifically, to kind of open it up to the general public for a kind of module for people. Uh, But yeah, that's something that I like a lot. The whole concept of being able to kind of check out somebody else's game and actually get to see it, before you even play in it. All right,
Mhm.
so yeah, let's go ahead and move on to there's an Exalted game that's got some and I've always liked the Exalted setting. I haven't checked out any of the new editions. I think I've only played like first edition Exalted. But Exalted's always been a game I've wanted to play more of. Kind of more of a fantasy setting for World of Darkness. You want to go into the description for that one? It's the one at um,
Is that
2
Saturday,
p.m.
2 p.m.?
Yep, 2 p.m. The Island of Imbued.
An island
An island.
imbued.
An island imbued. Oh,
A dragon-blooded exalt, known for recent seclusion, has decided to throw a garden party and come out of their mysterious seclusion. However, you have your own reasons for attending, due to the rumors surrounding the exalt and their summer home, such as sneak into their library, investigate military alliances, and more. Note, characters in this session are pre-generated and are not already created as exalts. However, exaltation is on the table during this session based on roleplay and narrative choices. Explanations of game system, setting, and mechanics will be provided, but this is a narrative-heavy, roleplay-heavy game.
oh, that seems fun.
Yeah, I am not really familiar with Exalted. I know that it is White Wolf adjacent, but it's not technically World of Darkness, if I'm right.
It's complicated. But for all intensive purposes, it is not the World of Darkness. But
Yeah,
there are some concepts of possible tie-ins that it might have been the world before the World of Darkness.
yeah, I believe it's our mutual friend Matt who has an overarching theory about how Exalted fits into the World of Darkness world.
Yeah, and there is other people, not just him, who kind of, who are backing him up on this to a certain degree. And there was concepts of trying to do that when it was originally created. I don't believe it's something that held true through the entire creation process, but
Yeah. All right. I am going to pick one. This I think it's Saturday at 6. Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, One Last Fight. This session is for players experienced with the 5th edition rules for Dungeons and Dragons. After years of adventuring, you've finally retired to a small town outside of Waterdeep. But this peaceful town has become the victim of a dragon attack. You and the other retired adventurers must fight one final fight to save your peace and quiet. This is a level 20 final boss fight one shot. Nice.
wow, that's cool. I like that. Level 20 final boss fight one shot.
Uh, Only 6 tickets, 5 available. Oh
This is a
man,
$7
I hope
game.
$7 game. I almost, I've said to you, and I was kind of trying to avoid saying it on the podcast, but uh, I'm not super interested in doing an online convention, playing in the games. But if I was gonna do one, I think I would probably do this one, just because I do enjoy 5th edition D&D. Like I said, I've been playing in 2 separate D&D games right now, and yeah, level 20 D&D characters. I could see a single battle lasting for 4 hours. That's
Yeah.
especially if you get into uh, having to move your characters around and just all the minutia of a 20th level character.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be an interesting one shot. Just something and something I'd want to try. But that is an interesting. It's expensive though, $7. And I feel like at a
yeah,
20th level, I'd really have to feel like I'd know my stuff, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to jump in and play that game.
yeah. No, I feel you on that.
And it's
That's
one of the things that I feel like World of Darkness has a better job of, if you're a high level character, it's easier to, it's not as hard. There is different complications, of course. But I feel like a 20th level character, there's a lot to that character. And if it's going to be combat kind of focused, is that, with like a boss fight that's probably set up so that you should use certain spells at certain times. Whereas because like my game is going to have a lot of high level powered characters, but it's always going to be like, especially since it's mage, it's just make up whatever the hell you want and we'll figure out a role for it, and we're just going to be co-storytelling for 4 hours, and you get to have a high powerful level character to kind of co-story with me on, co-story tell with me on, to a certain degree, of making this epic event that you're going to be having, with a lot of combat and stuff, but it'll be a lot of cinematic combat too as well. This though seems like it would be something that I would want to know the rules for quite a
Yeah.
bit.
I think this one is definitely, it's for people that have played a lot of D&D and they just want to fucking play a 20th level character with all the fixins and
And
just be
a
like,
battle all set up for that, because D&D feels like it would be
yeah,
really fun to have like a pre-generated combat battle that you jump into, and here are your 4 characters or 6 characters. They're all designed specifically to be able to beat this boss, and I've designed the boss to be able, if one character, if I have to only have 4 people, then the boss is this way. If I only have 3 people, the boss is going to be geared towards these characters that are fighting them. I feel like you could build design a really fun game. You personally
yeah,
would have to know the rules, as the GM would have to be pretty good at knowing what he's doing and built up that stuff. And then the players, I feel like, to a certain degree though, it all depends on, I guess, how they kind of run it. I guess I've not seen what a 20th level character looks like in 5th edition, to be honest. I know a 20th level 3.5 character would make me fall on my butt, and I know 3.5. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, 3.5 was pretty crunchy. Fifth edition, I guess it is less so. Um, but yeah, we just actually wrapped up kind of one of our fifth edition campaigns, and uh, we kind of did a little spin on it where we were all controlling multiple characters. It kind of it fit into the campaign. We were doing the Kingmaker module,
mhm.
from which was technically a Pathfinder uh, module, and we took a lot of liberties with it. But by the end of the campaign, in the final conflict, I was controlling a 20th level cleric and a 20th level paladin, and so all of us were controlling two 20th level characters. It was pretty cool. Um,
That's
and in
interesting.
fact, now, just because we can do whatever we want, because this is our podcast, I'm just gonna, tell you about the new extension to that campaign. Is those characters sent off a bunch of lower level characters to go and send a message, and so now we just started. Uh, we're all controlling either two. I'm controlling 4. I think somebody else is doing 4. Uh, and then the other 2 players are 2 and 3 characters. So I started a game with 4 level 2 characters, and I mean, it took us like 2.5 hours to do the first battle, but it's actually a lot of fun controlling multiple characters.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I really enjoy it,
Yeah.
especially because D&D is so mechanical.
Mhm.
Like I try to throw some of the RP in, but at, at at some point it's just like, what can my character do? And making a lot of decisions, it's actually pretty satisfying.
Mhm.
But anyway, I feel like I could probably do that. I might check in on Saturday and see if there's tickets left, if if I'm feeling it, for the fifth edition boss run.
Awesome. All right, let's
Anyway,
go take a look at the Legends of the Five Rings, because I know that's a game system that you're very familiar with,
yeah.
and you can maybe
Um,
talk a little bit about that. And looks like there are 4 tickets available at $2, and the game starts at um,
is
6
that
p.m.
the Saturday at 6?
Yep, Saturday at 6 p.m.
Okay, let me find the description. An introductory adventure set in the mythic Rokugan. The players are emissaries from the great clans escorting a doji princess as part of a peace accord just before the Winter Court. Samurai intrigue and romance. $2 for tickets available out of 5. If anybody is listening to this and thinking, "Oh, I don't want to play that samurai romance game," I would highly suggest it. L5R is just really friggin' cool.
Yeah, do you want to explain maybe a little bit about what L5R is?
Okay, so L5R, Legend of the Five Rings, is a samurai-themed game. There are, is it 7 clans? It might be 9 now. It's a lot of different clans, and so there's a lot of meta story in it. I specifically played in a living campaign called Heroes of Rokugan, which has gone through several iterations. I want to say they're still going. I think it's Heroes of Rokugan 4 now, and they're all 5-year campaigns. There are literally at this point hundreds of modules that I'm pretty sure if you look in the right place, you can get them pretty much for free. I don't think anybody's charging for them, but it's a really cool setting, and the combat is interesting because it's the roll and keep system. So it's all D10s. You roll a certain number of dice. You get to keep a certain number of those, and then you add up the numbers on them to figure out whether or not you succeed. I think the biggest problem with the system was that there's no way to botch. I think there are probably some homebrew rules to take care of that.
I thought there was if you failed by 10 or more or something like that.
I don't remember that ever being like a specific thing.
Getting more than 10 or 5 or something like that, it was like a bonus system of here is your target number, and then everything above that was a good thing.
See, that's where you get into the crunchy rules, because it didn't matter how far above the target number you were unless you declared a raise, which is kind of like a,
oh yeah,
it's target number is 15 to hit this guy, and it's like, okay, I'm going to raise by 10, so now my target number is 25, but if I hit that, now I get a bunch of different mechanical things, and I think it's mostly just damage dice mostly, but you can accomplish some pretty cool things.
And some people don't like the idea of botching. Like,
yeah, I think it definitely made it more enjoyable, especially in the context of it being a convention-run module system. Because man, botching in D&D can really mess you up, and in World of Darkness as well.
Yeah,
it can really piss you off sometimes, and sometimes you just don't need that to be a good game. But what was the thing I was thinking about for L5R? The setting is a big part of it. I think the main thing that I liked about it was that there was a kind of strict social convention inside the world, because you play samurai.
mm-hmm.
And the first time that I ran a module for friends, like, they came at it with a D&D mindset, and they were like, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, are you prepared to lose the respect of your peers? And they're like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, if you do that, you will, like, you'll get thrown out on your ass. You're no longer a samurai. So yeah, L5R can be pretty fun. I know there's a lot of there are at least a few actual play podcasts out there. I'm not listening to them. I have a limited amount of time. But yeah, I mean, that sounds like a really good intro to L5R. That is very much in the spirit of Tryitcon.
Cool. So I do see that they do have one workshop. I didn't see. Let me see. I'm gonna go real quick.
Are you talking about?
It looks like there's only one workshop that they currently have.
Are you talking about punishing your players?
Yeah. So moving on to Sunday. I thought that this was an interesting workshop here that people might be interested in. It is $7 per ticket, but I'll let you go into the what they say here.
Dungeon Masters. Once upon a time, your players could critically fail any ability, any attack, or saving throw, and you'd find a way to punish that failure. Does that further the story, though? Does it keep the game flowing? Come with me on a journey to rethink critical fumble tables and how we tell the story of failure in the world's greatest role playing game. Other game masters and storytellers welcome. Most advice will be system agnostic.
So I
Well,
like
that's crazy because we literally just brought that up. Talking about L5R,
yep.
what is the actual role of failure?
Right, and I found this interesting too because I like this in the sense of it's very similar to what I did. Well, I'm not similar, but it's around the concepts of what I did. I think just in our recent actual play, where you guys at the very end of the story, all of you botched. Well, one of you botched a magical effect instead of using that to kind of uh, hurt the players. I used it as a way to further further the story in a direction that I'm going to be taking it. So,
Yeah,
so I used it as a plot element, and kind of have moved them into a different sector of the story at this point, or moved them into a different path of the story because of what happened. But I like that idea of using critical botches and critical even successes as something that's more than just, oh, you drop your sword. Oh, you shot your buddy. Like, um, and wondering whether or not, what you can do to make it fun. I've always liked the idea of having botches be something that's just crazy and awesome. That, either further or changes the story greatly rather than just some kind of minor, oh, you just have some
yeah,
minor inconvenience.
yeah. It actually it brings up an interesting story. I think I think you were actually there. It was one year at Origins. Uh, there was a Q&A, I think, on a Saturday or Sunday morning that I hung over, kind of dragged myself to because I was like, I really want to go to this. And it was with Chris Perkins and Mike Merles from the D&D team. Uh, and oh man, there were a lot of people there. It was like standing room only, and I just sat in the back. And at the end, they were taking questions, and this guy stood up and he's like, somebody at the table has been fudging his dice. He's been cheating at D&D. And the thing that he's doing is he's preventing uh, failures. And he was like, how do I deal with this? And of course, the the correct advice is talk to him, tell him that's not cool. Uh, but I actually stood up and I was like, hey, I'll take this one. And I was like, make failure more interesting than success.
Yeah.
And and that can be really hard to do as a GM. It really can. But in terms of D&D, I would do it like if somebody rolls a natural 20, go ahead and be like, awesome, critical hit, double your damage dice. Fucking awesome. But next time somebody fails at something or misses, narrate it.
Hmm.
Next time somebody critically botches, rolls a 1 on their attack, narrate it for like an entire minute. And the next time that guy goes and sees a 1 on the table, he might be like, it might be really interesting. But some people, that's not what they get out of games. Some people, they're only worried about the numbers.
Yeah, and that's where I think your original advice as well is the important one though, is talk to your players. If you got a problem with what's going on, having open, honest discussions with people, and ensuring. I mean, the way that I always look at it is I want to make sure everybody's having fun. To be honest, I don't really care if people are fudging their roles. There's certain ways of making sure that that can't happen. Like we're playing with um, roll 20 where the roles are pretty open for all to see, so and there's really not going to be a good way for you to kind of fudge that, You can try to with there's a couple ways of making it say successes happen, but if as soon as you hover over it, you can kind of see where that math equation came from and being like, oh, that's how you got 20 successes on a dice roll that you should have only had 3 dice for. So, um, but in general, I don't really give a
Yeah,
care if
it's
somebody's cheating. I'm trying to tell a story, like, and I'm just trying to, but that makes me, I am much more into the storyteller aspect instead of game master aspect of being a game master, I guess, or a storyteller, because I want to tell a story. I'm not really concerned about your dice rolls as much. They're things to add elements of suspense and make sure that that's there for the players. And really, the dice rolls I feel are there for the players and for me to personally kind of respond to and make sure that the story moves forward no matter what the dice say. So I'm I I think it's kind of weird for somebody to be all cheaty during Dungeons and Dragons. But if it's Dungeons and Dragons, I can see where a lot of people are doing that because they just want to win.
yeah, it's it's different. It's an interesting topic. I'm kind of interested to see what this guy has to say about it. Um, I'm not sure if $7 for a 1 hour little thing is
Well, I'm
really
hoping
great.
that it's a workshop, so it sounds like they're going to be doing a lot more than just listening to what the person is, because it's not a seminar. So I'm imagining that they're going to make some character sheets, that they're going to make some roll charts and it looks like they're going to do the critical fumble tables at the very least is going to be like a thing that you're all going to be working together on to build some kind of collaborative work of figuring out different cool things that are so it's not just one person. It sounds like it's going to be multiple people. I mean, they have currently 1 ticket sold. I don't know, it'd be something
Well,
interesting to take a look at. Once again, I'd go if I was not already committed during that time period.
are you running something on Sunday? Or
No, but
playing
I'm
something?
playing on Sunday. On
What are you
Sunday,
what are you playing on Sunday?
so Sunday I am from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. doing the continuum, slow at work or slow day at work, Trinity continuum, Aeon, slow
Well,
day at
let's take a
work,
look at that.
and that currently has 4 tickets available.
Oh yeah, it's another $7 one. All right. Working the opening of a self-constructing colony prototype seems like a pretty simple assignment, especially compared to fighting aliens or mucking with shady governments and corporations. You might have tried to get out of it, but your superiors were very insistent that you be on Mars today, babysitting the media and officials as everyone watches a city build itself. Maybe they know something they aren't telling you. Players should expect problem solving, disaster movie action, and some ethical dilemmas. Some familiarity with Trinity Continuum Aeon is recommended but not required.
Yeah, so I might have played with you Trinity game. Um, it was
Oh yeah,
we were gonna play a different game,
at,
but then it
at
turned
mid
into a Trinity game. I feel like, or it was right at
that
that
was
time. It was Wrecking Crew.
no, this was you're talking about the
Oh, was that
you're talking
Midwinter
about the one we
maybe?
played on Sunday at Midwinter
Yeah.
that first year, and it was the guy from Onyx Path who actually was the line designer
Right.
for
Yeah.
it. I think they had just finished the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Um, is was that Trinity?
I feel like it was either Trinity or it was supposed to be Trinity, and then but we played a different game. Um,
I Yeah, I can't remember because I don't think
Let me
the game
see.
we played had self-building cities. I think were we playing Aberrant?
We might have played Aberrant. Let's see here though.
I
Um,
think we were playing Aberrant.
my conventions. My schedule. Oh, okay. So it was the Wrecking Crew on demand on Sunday, so I don't get to see exactly. Let me see what games they. Let's see if Trinity was listed as one of the ones here.
Wait, are you looking up the schedule from midwinter
Yeah,
from 2 years ago? Is it
yeah.
that easy on tabletop
It's
dot
that
events?
easy on tabletop. It's super easy. Um,
Oh, I'm not logged in. It would take me too long to find my login info. While you're doing that, I am going to read what I'm because we're about at an hour.
yeah, we're
So
about almost
let's
ready to finish up here.
let's go with this one. It should obviously be the last one. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. TSL, we're here, we're queer, we're rolling initiative. Run by Chris Britt. 5 tickets maximum. This one is sold out. $6 each. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. There are loads of campaign adventure prompts provided with the TSL Kickstarter. GM and players will work to decide whether the group are intergalactic gay glitter pro wrestlers, defenders of a fairy tale realm attached to the coffee shop they run, trans pirates of the Caribbean, or any other number of exciting, fun, queer options, and then we'll all generate characters together.
Oh, that's cool.
I believe in his last podcast, Terry was pretty excited about this one. I'm not sure I think he said he wasn't able to play because he's running the convention, but he was definitely interested.
Cool. Yeah. No, this seems like it would be really awesome. Um, what time is this at?
That is Sunday morning. It says 10 o'clock for me.
Yeah, 10 o'clock. So 10 till
I think that'd be 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock
9
Central
o'clock
Time.
hour. Yeah. So I'm wondering if I can fit that into my schedule. Like I know that it's sold out, so but I could do the. But yeah, no, that's
I mean, how is anybody going to be able to play that? That's when everybody should be at church.
oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Like I do every Sunday. But yeah, so yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap that up here. I think that's a good note to end on here. Definitely make sure to try or to go to the Tryitcon website, tryitcon.com. I think it's tryitcon.com, right?
It is. Tryitcon.com.
Tryitcon.com.
Should I spell it? Tryitcon.com.
Yes, that's it. So definitely go out, check that out. You can also find it in the tabletop events. If you're familiar with that website, there is tons of tickets still left available. We are 1 week away, basically. So next Friday, this upcoming Friday, it will be go live time. So really looking forward to running some games for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. Um, make sure to check out our new website, theageofstories.com. We got all of our information up there that we currently have out to the public for Madison Under Siege, our setting that we will be running at Tryitcon.
And don't forget to tune in to our Mage the Ascension game, Technogate, on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, on Twitch at twitch.tv/Golden Age Stories. That's Golden spelled Guldan. Also, if you like this podcast, you can listen to us record it live on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
Well, thank you all for listening, and you have a great week. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.